Hey guys, Papaxdoom here. We have some spicy news from PC Gamer. So I came across an article today published by PC Gamer, which actually states that Gamepass is not making enough money for Microsoft. So that news actually is coming from the Xbox marketing manager, Aaron Greenberg. So here's what he had to say. This was an article that recently came out from PC Gamer, in which Aaron Greenberg actually states, "It's a common refrain. How the hell Microsoft makes any money out of this? If I was to buy only 3 games like Gears Tactics in the next year, that would set me back $150. With Xbox Game Pass, I can play as many as I have time for across the whole year, and I'd be paying less than $50. That's a huge chunk of cash that a lot of people in April are no longer going to give to Microsoft." So here's the thing. Game Pass actually offers a lot of value, don't get me wrong, on both PC and Xbox. But the problem being, Microsoft actually tries to put in a lot of, third-party developer games, even as a part of the Xbox Game Pass. And to do that, there's always a little amount of money that goes, that Microsoft has to pay those developers up front. So let's just say if Microsoft is actually making $10 of just one player, they are paying that $10 to all the studios whose games are being added to the Game Pass. In fact, Microsoft might actually be shelling more money from their pocket to these developers to make sure that all these games are on one subscription service. Well, as much as that actually sounds good for a consumer, for a person like me, you, a normal gamer, we can just sign up Game Pass, pay like $10 a month, and I get to play almost the next Yakuza, the next, Stalker 2. Name any game shown even in the showcase or anything before that up until now is amazing. But at the same time, we have to realize that it's Microsoft who's actually paying them a certain amount of money to actually have their games on Game Pass, to attract more users. Hopefully with that, they could make a bit more money so they could pay off these developers. Because I'm pretty sure no other developer would actually love their games being part of, Microsoft's Game Pass. Obviously, like if I was a developer, I need a certain amount of money. I wouldn't like my game being part of Game Pass if I don't get paid anything up front. And then you put the point number 2. Well, if you look at Game Pass only on PC, it already has a lot of competition. If you look at EA Origin and Uplay Plus to begin with. So Uplay Plus started, I guess, last year, and EA Origin started a couple of years ago. And our EA Origin Premiere started last year, I guess, or maybe even that was started 2 years ago. But so let's talk about EA. So with EA Origin, there are 2 types of subscription EA gives you: EA Access and EA Origin Premiere Access. So EA Access is a basic subscription, which is like $5 a month, and you get almost, all access to the Vault games. So basically, they call it the Vault. So this is a place where they actually store, they give you all the games that have been, released a year ago or maybe 2 years ago, sometimes even 6 months, depending upon how successful or how big the game is. And Premiere Access is basically the same, idea of the Game Pass. So basically, any title under EA that comes out on day 1, you will be able to play it. And sometimes, I guess, for a few games, you will be able to play that even a week before release, the actual release date. So that is EA Origin Premiere and then EA Access. So there's already 2, types of subscription for just a service from EA. Then comes Uplay. So Uplay Plus. So this is just similar to Game Pass. Any game that actually is released by Ubisoft, you can play day 1. Like right now, you can just sign up and you get the deluxe editions of the game. Not just the standard ones, not just, anything else, the deluxe edition. So, I mean, Game Pass did that with Gears 5. I liked it. I got the Ultimate, edition if I got the Game Pass Ultimate. So, that was a good thing. But there's already competition on PC. with every company starting their own, freaking services. And then right now, Rockstar is in line. They already have their launcher. Bethesda is in line. It's only a matter of time before Steam, Rockstar, even Bethesda come up with their own subscription services. And when they do, and they start enticing you with a lot more good, games for the kind of value they offer for the subscription, Game Pass is going to lose its, value on PC at least. It already has a lot of competition on PC. Now, if you look at it on the console perspective, when and if Sony and Nintendo, I don't think so Nintendo is trying to compete yet, but if at all both these companies come up with their own Game Pass services, for the fact that Sony actually has more titles and Nintendo actually have more first-party exclusives that can attract users to be a part of that subscription service. So Sony already has PS Now. It's not a big deal for Sony. It already has PS Now. All it has to do is bring that to PC, which I don't think so it will. But Sony can actually come around and be like, you have PS Plus as a part of the PS Now, and it's a certain amount of subscription, and you can play all our first-party games day one. Trust me, Sony will make a ton of money. It doesn't even have to add any third-party games. Even with just the first-party games, Sony can survive. And then point number 2. Here's the ultimate killer thing. Netflix, when it was started, it was actually the king, streaming services. Now, I'm just giving, I'm using this as an example so that people get a better understanding of what I'm trying to say. I'm not dunking on Game Pass. I'm not hating on Microsoft. I'm just explaining you why it's going to be, tougher down the road for Microsoft. So when Netflix came out, it was the king of streaming services. Like you had, it was all in one, movies and entertainment kind of, services that it was offering you for a small price. And then you see the competition come in. You had the Disney Plus, you had the HBO Max, you had all these services that actually popped up. And when they did, you saw how Netflix started, losing all of its major, movies to these services, because most of them own rights to these movies and TV shows. So they stopped pulling them off Netflix because they want a piece of the pie. And then when Netflix was like, okay, I want to keep The Office, they were like, you got to pay this much amount of money to keep it. So now, and then relate that to Game Pass. So you are going to see two things happen, at least on the console front. Either studios start demanding more money, which would result in the price of Game Pass being hiked up. Or 2, the only way Microsoft can keep this Game Pass model sustained, sustain this model, is by making good first-party exclusives. And based on their showcase so far, most of them have been trailers, and even in the current generation that we actually see, they have never been. I have, at least personally, I have not seen a big God of War, or even I'm a huge fan of Gears 5 and Halo. Both the games have been kind of a letdown for me. And unless Microsoft can actually come out with the next Last of Us for Xbox, the next, God of War, or the next Uncharted, so at least a bunch of heavy hitters, there's no way you could actually, attract users to your Game Pass down the road. Like right now, it's a good value for money, but down the road, it's it's going to be a tough battle for Microsoft unless they come out with good first-party exclusives. So, well, if you guys like my content, please like and subscribe, and Papaxdoom out.